Joined now by the captain of the Oshawa Generals, and we don't know if that's going to be captain next season or not. Josh, what's going on with the contract talks with the Florida Panthers? Anything yet?
Yeah, as of right now, no, nothing's going on. But I'm not really sure what's going to happen. But I'm training like I'm going to be back in Oshawa, so we'll see what happens.
What do you like about your team moving forward next year if you are coming back to Oshawa? Obviously, losing big pieces like Colin Sullentrop and Scott Lawton's going to hurt, but what have you gained over the course of this season?
Yeah, definitely losing those guys is going to hurt us a bit, but I think there's a lot of guys that came on in the season this year, especially through guys like Hunter Smith really came on for us, especially in the playoffs, and I think we have a great character group still, and I think we're definitely going to be a pretty good team next year.
What happened in that Barrie series, in that North Bay series? Probably would have preferred Barrie the way it went, but in the North Bay series, what happened there that resulted in a sweep?
I don't know if there's anything that I can really pinpoint on it. I just think when we lost those first two games at home, we were pretty bummed out, but we were still confident that we could go into North Bay and take another one. And then I'm not really sure. We just seemed like we weren't getting the bounces, but I think I got to give credit to North Bay. Definitely, I think they're the better team in that series.
How tough was it to sit out that Game 3 with the suspension?
Yeah, it was really tough. I don't know. I wasn't really happy, but it's tough to see my guys lose again, and I'm the captain, and I'm supposed to be there for them, playing with them and battling with them. But, it's the way it goes sometimes in the league. But, yeah, it was definitely pretty hard to watch.
Now, who really impressed you? You guys had a whole crop of rookies, but who stood out the most for you on the team? I know talking to guys earlier in the summer, a lot of people mentioned Van de Sample and Harding as the two guys that really jumped out. Would you agree with that assessment?
Yeah, definitely. Especially Vandy. I think he's pretty confident with the puck, and that definitely grew during the year. And he's got some of the best feet I've ever seen on a defenseman or forward, wherever you put him at. He can turn on a dime and he gets going real fast. But also guys like Jacob Bush. I didn't know a whole lot about him before he came to the team, but he definitely was a pretty integral part of our team that year, and he battled for us. Fought a lot and actually got some points too. He was definitely a pretty huge piece for us.
Absolutely. How big was that conference finals run for the development of the team? Obviously, you guys are going to have a lot more returning players this season than you did last year. So, going into that conference finals run, how big does that help you?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, myself included, I had never been that far in the playoffs, so it's definitely a huge learning curve for everyone. And since we did have such a young team, to have that many guys there and that many guys know what it takes to move on through series and how to just keep battling and keep staying focused, I think that's definitely going to help us out for the next couple of years for sure.
Now, you've been a part of the Oshawa-Peterborough rivalry for quite a while now. How nice was it to sweep them out of the playoffs?
Yeah, it was huge. For me, it was almost a little sweeter too because I have two pretty good buddies that play for Peterborough. But like you said, it's one of the biggest rivalries in junior hockey, definitely, and it's a lot of fun when you get to play games like that. They were pretty intense games, but yeah, it was definitely pretty cool, especially to get that for our old GM Jeff Toohey there, because I know he wanted it pretty badly too. So it was pretty big for us.
Joined by the captain of the Oshawa Generals, Josh Brown. Josh, how long did it take you to get back out onto the ice after the end of the season?
I took some time off. I think it's important to take a mental break from the game, so it took. I'm not sure. I think it's just a couple weeks though. Just try and let the mind recharge as well as the body, and then just get right back at it and try and get better.
So, what do junior hockey players do in the summer? You got a summer job lined up there?
I don't actually, but a lot of us do. I don't. I mostly just try to focus on working out and getting on the ice as much as possible to just try and get better for next year.
Well, Anaheim scout Jim Sandlack told me that he pushes you really hard. How nice is it to have, a guy that played in the NHL be a sounding board for you?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I've known Jimmy basically all my life, too. So, yeah, we have Sunday skates with him, and my old minor midget coach, John Calderosi, definitely push us pretty hard, and it's pretty tiring. But, yeah, definitely, I look up to a guy like Jim Sandlack a lot, and I know I can ask him for help or advice anytime I need to.
What is your next path here? What are your goals if you have to come back to Oshawa this season to ensure that you get that contract with the Panthers?
For me, I think it's more just keep working on my footwork, and just increase. I'd like to try and help out a little more offensively, but I know that's not really the mainstay of my game. But I think definitely my plus-minus needs to be higher next year and just show that I can shut down those top lines, and definitely just get bigger and stronger here in the off-season.
Well, you got your first goal of the year against the Erie Otters, actually first career OHL goal earlier this season. How nice did that feel to finally get that monkey off your back?
Yeah, it was kind of those first 2 seasons. I was kind of just not really thinking about it too much, but at the same time, everyone wants to score at least once, even though it's not really my game, not my game. But yeah, it's pretty huge, especially against a pretty good team like Erie. It was kind of cool to score that goal.
I know at the start of the season, a lot of people were expecting, Scott Laughton to come back and assume that captaincy role, but it was given to you and it wasn't temporary. How meaningful was that for you to get that leadership? I know it's just a letter at the end of the day, but how nice was it to be recognized and not have that taken away, even with Lottie coming back?
Yeah, well, like you said, it is just a letter, but at the same time, it is huge. I know it's one of the Oshawa Generals are one of the oldest franchises in junior hockey right now, and to be able to lead that group, like so many great players before me, it's pretty cool experience, actually. I wasn't really sure what was going to happen with the letters, but when Smitty told me I was going to be the C this year, yeah, it was definitely a pretty cool experience.
Well, you're going to lose a couple letters, obviously, we talked about. So who do you think's ready to step up into a leadership role on this Generals team?
I don't know. That's tough to say. I could see guys like Hunter Smith and Bradley Latour getting them back because they did have them at the start of the year before Lottie came back and was selling top getting it again. Or, maybe a guy like Michael Dal-Cole. He played his second year last year, but if he's back with us for his third year, I definitely could see him taking on more of a leadership role, for sure.
I know you mentioned Hunter Smith earlier. When did it seem like he figured it out to you guys? I know for me, watching the games, it seemed like right around the second half of the season, Hunter Smith figured it out. What contributed to him figuring it out?
I think it just came with time. I think it came with the confidence. Smitty kept putting him out more and more and more, and I think just the confidence definitely came into play. And I think he got in a couple good fights there, and he just realized that he does belong in this league. And even though the year before, he didn't play a whole lot, only got 1 point, but yeah, I think he just put a lot of hard work in over the off season, and then when the season came around, he just kept playing more and more, and then just realized that he was a player in this league, and he just took off from there.
And if anybody can appreciate hard work, it's you, right?
Yeah, I can appreciate that.
So, hey, listen, Josh, I'll tell you what, best of luck this summer, and we'll keep our fingers crossed that you get that NHL deal, and hopefully, if you're back in Oshawa, then, we'd love to have you back, but we're all rooting for you to get that deal and move on to the next stage of your career.
Hey, thanks a lot. I really appreciate that.
All right, that was the captain, Josh Brown of the Oshawa Generals. You've been listening to Catch a General on the Oshawa Generals Radio Network.